I don't really think nobody fucking with me anyway, you know what I'm saying? 24 fucking hundred. I come from that fucking block. I been out that Johnny, up and up that cutter. If we cannot get.
Welcome back, we back with another reaction video. Today we're reacting to a justified by jury video, the rise and demise of Naya Rivera. Now, again, this is, I might know of Naya Rivera, but I'm not, the name not ringing any bells. So I'm gonna just get right into the story and we're gonna learn about this person's life and their passing. Let's get right into it.
Naya, a young starlet who, like the words to a song, was born to amuse, to inspire, to delight. Here one day, gone one night. And in Chapter 20 of the Unfortunate Demise series, we will detail the life and career of actress, singer, and model Naya Rivera. We will explore the endless wave of trials and tribulations she endured before her untimely demise at just 33 years of age. If there are any other celebrities you'd like to see documented in the Unfortunate Demise series, please leave your suggestions in the comments below. Let's get started. Born on January 12, 1987 in Valencia, California, and of African, German, and Puerto Rican descent, she was destined for greatness from the womb, as her mother, Yolanda, was an aspiring actress and model, and had done many commercial shoots and TV appearances when she unexpectedly became pregnant with Naya. But once she had her, she quickly realized that Naya had a knack for the camera, and with Naya's father, George, working IT jobs for Disney and Universal Music, Yolanda was able to devote all her time to building a career for Naya, and would snag her a modeling deal at just 7 months old. She would create 1+1 management, managing Naya, with her first appearance being a Kmart ad. From there, Naya would be featured in print ads for toddlers before appearing in Barbie and Cabbage Patch ads for Mattel. She later stated that she was their go-to ethnic girl at that time, and would get calls whenever they wanted to sprinkle some diversity here and there. She stayed in the spotlight, but had to learn how to be picture perfect all the time. And even though these were the years to make your mistakes, she wasn't given that opportunity, and this later affected how she handled other situations. But everyone loved Lil Nene, which was her nickname. In 1991, at 4 years old, she caught the attention of the legendary actor and comedian Redd Foxx, and would snag her first major acting role on his latest sitcom, The Royal Family, a comedy which was created and executive produced by Eddie Murphy, and also featured Della Reese and Lorenz Tate. Naya would star as the youngest grandchild, Hillary Winston, one of 3 who move in with their grandparents and their mother, and it's quite the adjustment. The cast and crew were enamored with Naya's talents, as even though she could not read the scripts, she would learn her lines through memory by reciting them, and it's been said that she never missed a single line, which was cool since it was in front of a live audience. This skill stayed with her as later in life she became known for learning lines quickly and never messing up on set. But on The Royal Family is where she fell in love with being on TV and quickly realized this is what she wanted to do for the rest of her life.
I'm gonna make some lemonade.
I thought that was the Cosby said.
Papa, you got hairs going on top of your nose.
Go see your grandma.
She said that she and Redd Foxx were intergenerational BFFs from the moment they first met. Redd had even went around telling people that Naya was really his granddaughter, and she believed him. He and his wife would bring Naya and her family back souvenirs from their trips, and one time he gifted her with a tiny ceramic Redd Foxx. He also liked to dress up in flashy outfits, and whenever he'd get one custom made, he'd say, and make one for baby girl too.
Do you like working with Mr. Fox?
I like it.
Yeah, that's good. Now, what did you do before this show, The Royal Family?
I stayed home and I did pictures.
Yeah, commercials. Yeah, because you're beautiful. You could be a model. Would you like to do some modeling?
I did that.
Oh, excuse me. You gonna do some movies later when you get older?
Yeah.
Ah, you gonna get married when you get older?
No.
Oh. Why?
Because I'm too young for that.
Okay, but maybe when you get his age, would you like to get married? Why?
At 50,
Cause what?
Because my mommy doesn't like it.
Oh, yeah. Please? Please say we'll be right back after this important message?
I don't think so.
Okay.
This show was set to be Redd Foxx's big comeback to television, as his hit show Sanford & Son and its spinoff had both ended a decade prior, and his other shows since had failed to replicate similar success. The new show, The Royal Family, would premiere on September.
So you telling me, but I've seen episodes of Sanford & Son, and I'm not that fucking old. Debatable. But I'm not that old. Like, bro, I've seen episodes, they were reruns, of course, but I've never seen no rerun of The Royal Family. When was this getting aired? When was it busting? Like, I'm about to go ask Dukes, what you ever watched The Royal Family? What the hell is this? What is this?
September 18th, 1991, to nearly 20 million viewers, and was an instant hit. The audience loved Naya's character, and she'd get tons of fan mail each week, and would eventually receive a Young Artist Award nomination for her performance in the series. But what was supposed to be a family unit, setting a legacy for years to come, would be tragically cut short when just 7 episodes into the first season, during rehearsal, Redd Foxx would have a fall, right in front of Naya, and other cast and crew members watching nearby. Now, he was known to jokingly fall and pretend that he was having a heart attack, so initially everyone thought he was joking, but this time it was for real. He'd be rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead at 68 years of age. Bearing witness to all of this,
And it's the problem with funny niggas. Y'all niggas will do some funny shit right until y'all die. What kind of dumb? We don't even know if you need help because you want to pump fake niggas. My bad, I'm trolling. Nigga, stop trolling. Stop trolling. Rest in peace to GOAT, man. But this nigga was trolling and shit. Like, they probably was like, yeah, go ahead, man, get up. Laughing and shit. This nigga really fucked up. Come on, bro.
at just 4 years old, Naya was too young to fully grasp the magnitude of what she had witnessed.
No, she
But
said
with the rest of the
something
show, in limbo, they would add Jack Hay to the show and revamp the storyline for the latter 8 episodes.
I bet you've heard quite a lot about me. Not much. Whenever Grandpa wanted to talk about you, I had to leave the room.
But the viewership fell flat, and the show would ultimately be canceled before they even finished airing all of the episodes from the first season. Ironically, the show itself was initially supposed to be called Chest Pains. So eerie. Even though the show was over as quickly as it began, Lil Naya was still a hit amongst fans, one of which was Tupac himself, who ran up to Naya and her family at LAX and sang her praises. He got to hold her while chatting it up with her parents, though they didn't think to pull out the camera and snap the special moment. Also, Naya would get cast on an episode of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, where she earned Will Smith's stamp of approval before appearing in several episodes of Family Matters that same year as Gwendolyn, Lil Richie's girlfriend. She also hit it off with one of Michael Jackson's nieces, and she, along with a young Nicole Richie, both got invited to attend the niece's birthday party, which took place at the Neverland Ranch. Now, her parents weren't allowed to come with her, but it was said that MJ himself wasn't in attendance either. But with all the fun and bragging rights that came along with being a celebrity kid, home and school life proved to be that much harder on young Naya. Kids at school gave her a hard time because they felt that she thought she was better than everybody else. And she had trouble connecting with their maturity levels because she spent so much time on set with grown adults.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. The fact that, well, see, both of those things playing into each other, right? Because you view, or you're used to adults being around adults, you probably view them as childish. So in the kids' head, it's not even a perception thing for them, because it's like, nigga, you acting like we childish, which we are because we're kids, and you want some snobby shit, but it's not really snobby shit. It's just you're not as childish as them. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're more mature than them because of the settings that you have been in. So everything is just, it's like literally you're in two different worlds at this point. There's nothing to even talk about. Like, what do we relate with besides being the same age? Maybe we like the same things, maybe, but y'all niggas not acting like y'all ain't meet Red Fox. What are we doing? And it's not even a, oh yeah, bro, I'm arrogant now because of my abilities to do such and such, such and such. It's just, it's experience. Like, you lack the experience, I have experience, and we are not meshing on the same levels.
And that's another thing. Her having to continuously be absent to go attend casting calls upset many of her teachers, who felt that acting was overrated and that she was basically spoiled. And so they take their frustrations out on her. And she ended up moving schools, a lot. She was a big sister to 2 younger siblings, but the breadwinner for her entire family, as her parents' finances fluctuated often, as well as their relationship. But amidst the chaos, one thing she loved doing was getting out on the water. During their rich season, the family owned a boat, and she said they were total lake kids. It provided a sweet escape. Throughout the mid-90s, she would snag a few episodes here and there on shows like Live Shot, Baywatch, and Smart Guy. But by high school, her parents were on the brink of divorce, and she was battling anorexia, racial remarks, teasing for her mole, and the overall notions of being a washed-up child actor who wasn't snagging big-time roles. Them kids were mean as hell. But you know what? Bump them high school haters. Because Naya was still accomplishing her dreams. She would snag a recurring role as Donna on The Bernie Mac Show, Vanessa's best friend, along with a few guest appearances on Soul Food, the TV series, and the Master of Disguise movie. Whenever she wasn't working, she would draw unemployment. Yes, even as a minor. But another passion that Naya had was singing, and she always wanted the opportunity to showcase her vocal talents and be like the women in music who came before her. She and her dad would fly to Atlanta to try to get a record deal. She'd record several demos with Darkchild, and even did a duet with I'll Be Sure, but labels kept giving her the runaround. Naya would then go on to be featured as the leading love interest in B2K's music video for the song Why I Love You, which is my favorite song by them, Ego crowd at that time. But nothing ever materialized from her time with the collective. She also auditioned for American Idol at one point, but was cut in the first round. Seeing the doors being closed on a traditional music career, she figured she might have better luck merging singing along with her acting efforts, and went on several singing auditions for Disney musicals, and her efforts were amazing, but the results were $1 short and a day late, as she would often place runner-up, like with Chanel in The Cheetah Girls, a role that would go to Adrienne Bailon. and Gabriella in High School Musical,
She was
which
supposed
would
to
go
be
to
a
Vanessa
girl.
Hudgens. The Disney execs always praised Naya's auditions and spoke of how much they loved seeing her blow them away each time. And so one day she flat out asked them, well then why don't y'all ever pick me then? Which was a no-no during auditions. You ain't supposed to ask that. In the end, after only receiving a small role on Even Stevens, Naya decided that she was done with Disney and auditioned for the singing role of Yasmin in the Bratz movie, which she also didn't get. She would, however, continue to land the typical one-episode appearance here and there, like on the show Girlfriends, CSI Miami, and on the Halloween episode of the show 8 Simple Rules, a sitcom in which the male lead actor, John Ritter, would suffer chest pains on set during rehearsal and be rushed to the hospital, where he would die from an aortic dissection.
You're trolling.
Down but not out with singing, Naya would take part in the production of Marquis Swinston's play You Don't Know Me, the musical, both in LA and when the production was taken on national tour. In March of 2008, she began studying screenwriting at the New York Film Academy and graduated that same year. But Naya was also irresponsible with money and had blown through the $42,000 worth of residual money that was given to her once she turned 18, and she was in debt. Over the next few years, she had worked odd jobs as a telemarketer, a nanny, a greeter at Abercrombie & Fitch, and even a waitress at Hooters. Her longtime first love at this point was Taj Mowry. They had always been close as they'd known each other since they were like 4 years old. Their mothers were best friends and they went to the same church. They were each other's first kiss and dates to formal dances. Naya was also friends with his twin sisters Tia and Tamara. The two had dated on and off throughout their teenage years, but Taj would ultimately end things by saying that he needed to date someone more on his financial level. Damn.
That's
But
crazy,
soon,
bro.
things would take off for Naya and to new heights that she had never been before, when in 2009, she was cast as Santana Lopez in the hit musical comedy drama series Glee, which would go on to become a worldwide phenomenon with awards and accolades that are far too numerous to name.
Never watched
Her
the
character was the
episode.
mean girl on the show, and she'd tap into her negative high school experiences to capture that villainous essence that fans loved. Initially, she was brought on as a recurring role, but the producers loved her so much that they made her a regular cast member for the second season onward. And all of a sudden, she was thrusted into the spotlight and known worldwide for not only her superb acting, but also her singing talents. She had fans with tattoos of her face and name on their bodies. She was also thrust into a new tax bracket thanks to the checks that she was bringing in, far surpassing the likes of Taj Mowry.
Yeah, Taj, I'm like,
And
what
she
you
would
talking
receive
about,
several
brother?
awards and
You fell
accolades
off,
for her
man.
character, who was also openly gay. And her character's coming out episode was very inspiring to many people within the LGBT community. All of this, of course, overwhelmed Naya, who had been overlooked for so long. And her dreams were not only finally coming true, but also the set of Glee was filmed on the same Paramount lot that the royal family was filmed on all those years ago. And just being there brought back so many memories. So it was all coming full circle, and she knew Red Fox would be proud. So much so that she even considered taking the old ceramic Red Fox, along with a Ouija board, over to the same stage that Red
That's
fell on
scarier.
and see if she could communicate with his spirit. Alright now. But Glee also had its dark side, and the show was unexpectedly so popular, the demands became outrageous for the cast and crew who worked excruciating long hours and got little to no time off. When season 1 wrapped, rather than getting your usual couple of months of downtime, the cast had to go on tour, called Glee Live in Concert, which spanned 31 cities. Once that wrapped, it was back to the set for season 2. Not to mention fan mania and paparazzi following you everywhere. It caused severe depression and anxiety on just about everyone. In the show's entire 6-season run, 5 different crew members would die of heart attacks or simply taking their own lives. One crew member died in a mysterious car fire. But the biggest death during the show's run was when lead actor Corey Monteith was found deceased on July 13th, 2013, from an overdose of substances. His death shook up the entire show, and once again, they'd have to revamp the script to include his death. And during a tribute to his character, Finn, Naya's character, would sing a cover of the song If I Die Young by the band Perry, and it struck a chord with many fans. And the lyrics, lay me down on a bed of roses, sink me in the river at dawn, would be a chilling recollection after her own demise, for reasons that we'll get into later. But on the show, several of the cast members had issues with the lead actress, Lea Michele, being a complete diva, and Naya would go head to head with her often. Also, Naya had entered a tumultuous relationship with another actor on the show, Mark Salling, and they were both admittedly toxic from the jump. But after embarrassing headlines and Mark cheating, they decided to split. But years later, he'd be arrested for possession of certain imagery involving children, if you know what I mean.
Oh, Lord.
He was facing up to 7 years behind bars for it, but decided to take his own life instead in 2018. But long before this, many fans had wondered whether or not Glee itself was cursed in some way. The environment was very toxic, and it had rubbed off on Naya, who began dating a man named Ryan Dorsey. But after he proved himself to be too good of a catch, Naya would break up with him out of fear, only to later find out that she was pregnant by him. Putting her career first, however, she made the painstaking decision to have an abortion, which she said was the most painful thing she's ever had to do physically and emotionally. And the authority figures up at Glee only gave her 1 day off to go run and have it done, with no recovery time. Months later, she found herself in a volatile relationship with rapper Big Sean, and the pair fought often. But even though, according to Naya, Sean was extremely selfish, he was also very proud to show her off. telling his close people that she was his girlfriend after only their second date, and even telling the whole world on Drake's hit single, All Me, where he rapped, "My new girl is on Glee and Ish, probably making more money than me and Ish." Having a hit TV show, thousands of fans, and your boyfriend rapper who's on top of the world bragging on you was like a dream come true to someone who spent their entire life trying to reach the pinnacle of celebrity success. Not only that, but Columbia Records had offered Naya a record deal, so she got fast to work recording a ton of music. She appeared in 2 Cello's music video called Supermassive Black Hole, and her official first single, called Sorry, would drop in September of 2013, and Big Sean wasn't gonna let it fly by without dropping a few bars on it himself. All the stars were aligning for Naya, and it was quite the rush when Sean suddenly proposed to her. But like many cases, if it start fast, it end fast. And because Sean was always gone touring, she'd go long periods of time without hearing from him. Meanwhile, she's trying to plan a whole wedding by herself, as it seemed like once promises were made, Sean stopped caring about the rest of it. And when he was back in town, he was too busy to see her. But Naya, having the key to his crib, would walk in to find him with side piece newcomer, Ariana Grande. But he assured Naya that Ariana was just there to listen to some music that he had for her, and the two agreed that they needed couples therapy. But after many heated sessions, they decided to postpone their wedding. Now, as a woman who felt scorned, every little thing that Sean did or didn't do from that point on was seen as malicious. Right. And when Naya noticed a very expensive Rolex that she had was missing from her crib, she immediately knew that he had taken it. His defense was, well, I gave it to you, so technically it's mine, and I only took it to have it adjusted. But he was wearing it everywhere he went, and didn't tell her that he was taking it. This prompted Naya to take things to the kingdom of Twitter, where she tweeted, "At Big Sean stealing Rolexes from a lady's house now? Maybe because I'm on Glee and making more money or something. Trifling." Which then prompted Big Sean to have his publicist make an official statement that not only was the wedding called off, but that he and Naya were no longer together. Yikes. And if that weren't bad enough, reports started circulating that Columbia Records was dropping Naya from their contract due to poor...
Brother, you're literally... Y'all are dating. Why the would you tell your publicist? Yeah, let my publicist announce this, because I'm not even gonna deal with this.
Sales from her one and only single. Though initially her rep denied the rumors, she was officially removed on the label's official website, and was only featured in the previously released Glee cast recordings on the label. Hurt and despondent, Naya would meet up with Sean, and they made a truce that they would no longer badmouth one another in public. He then played for her a new song that he was working on called I Don't F With You, which she initially liked because the lyrics were evasive, but she said, "Promise you won't make this song about me," and he promised. Now this was in May of 2014. However, less than a month later, Naya had not only returned to her previous boyfriend, Ryan Dorsey, but also announced that the two were engaged, and they got married that July. Yes, 2 months later, on what was supposed to be her and Sean's original wedding date, allegedly, in Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, in front of a small group of family members, saying, "We feel truly blessed to be joined as husband and wife."
My thing is, you shouldn't even have went with Big Sean in the first place. You broke up with Lil Buddy because you was scared that he was too good for you. Like, nigga. So you want to go through a bad relationship and have him be the rebound? What the hell? That don't make no sense.
Special date was fated, and everything we could have ever asked for. And 2 months after that, Big Sean would drop his smash hit, I Don't F With You, now with updated lyrics to reflect Naya's wedding situation. And he would also post up announcing his relationship to Ariana Grande, the woman that he told Naya not to worry about. The headlines
Big Sean's petty. Yep, tracks
were embarrassing, as Naya now lost a record deal and got a diss record on her by an ex. Moving into the last season of Glee, Naya had asked to be bumped down to a recurring member, as she had other projects she wanted to focus on. Her first leading role in a feature film would be At the Devil's Door, an American supernatural horror film, where she plays a woman caught amidst ghostly events. She also had recurring roles on Devious Minds, and spent time as a guest host on The View, before giving birth to her son, Josie, in September of 2015. And motherhood shifted Naya's perspective greatly. In the following year, she would write and release her memoir, titled Sorry, Not Sorry, Dreams and Mistakes Growing Up, which is the most in-depth look into her tumultuous life in and outside the spotlight. She also released an audiobook version, which she narrated and is available online. I learned a lot just by listening to her. Y'all check it out sometime. In this book, she also spoke on racism that she was enduring in the industry at that time, even after all she had accomplished, and dwelled on how after Glee had ended, she went up against a white actress for a role in another film. She was given feedback that they ended up choosing the white girl because the size of Naya's lips were distracting to male executives. She was shocked, saying, "First of all,
what in the far-fetched, nude, discriminatory bush?" Because her lips were big and they were distracting the male execs? How? Because they were thinking inappropriate things, most likely? That's their fault. I mean, fire their ass.
That's not feedback. Talk to me about my performance or anything else. But my lips? Does she know that that's racist?
Like,
I'm Hispanic and black. You can't say that. That's mind-blowing. I'm in a weird place where I'm right back at the beginning, even though I really did a good job on the show for 6 years. She had also made plans to bring back 1+1 management with her husband. And when listening to the audiobook, you'd think that her marriage at least was in a good place, but it had been plagued with altercations, and at one point the couple had announced a divorce before reconciling. But in late 2017, Naya would be arrested on a battery charge after repeatedly striking her husband in the head and face during a drunken argument. Video of her up at the sheriff's office was posted online, which had a lot of people talking, and Big Sean would chime in, posting a video of Lil Boosie's daughter, chanting,
I told y'all niggas, I told y'all niggas.
I told y'all niggas, this nigga Big Sean petty as hell, bro. What are you doing? Hey, this nigga ain't shit, bro. Yeah, you know what? I don't even care. I told y'all. Hell nah, bro. You did not tell us you was getting beat up by your girl, nigga. You did not tell us that, buddy.
Niggas, y'all thought I was lame, but I told y'all.
Charges on Naya were later dropped, and the couple would officially divorce in the summer of 2018, and would be granted joint custody of their son Josie. Naya would appear as Colette in the new series Step Up High Water with Neo. And in 2019, Naya would make peace with her past by performing the song I Don't F With You on a lip sync battle, taking full control of the diss record, getting the last laugh. Determined to change her trajectory, she'd become more involved in activism. Her maternal grandmother was Clara White, an abortion counselor and figure in the civil rights movement who was involved in the March on Washington's Selma to Montgomery marches and the 1968 Chicago riots. So throughout Naya's career, she had also participated in many causes, starting with an anti-bullying campaign in 2011, as well as hosting the 23rd annual GLAAD Media Awards in 2012, representing for the LGBTQ community. She helped raise awareness and funds for Alliance of Moms, which supports pregnant and parent teens in foster care, as well as the Sunshine Foundation, which works to grant wishes to children with severe physical disabilities and life-threatening illnesses. She directed a short film called Love America for the I Am an Immigrant campaign, and also attended a few protests in the summer of 2020 to demand justice for Breonna Taylor, and tweeted about the new law banning no-knock warrants, and pushed for the officers involved in Breonna's case to be officially charged. 2020 had been a tough year for a lot of people, but Naya had always found solace in her happy place, which was on the water, and her trips to nearby Lake Piru were becoming more frequent, as she considered it her sanctuary, especially on Wednesdays, as according to Ventura County deputy sheriffs, hardly anyone is there on Wednesdays, which makes for a more peaceful environment. However, the lake had been closed for 3 months due to COVID, and had just reopened on Wednesday, July 1st, which meant that the lake was likely to be packed. So she decided to go the following Wednesday, July 8th, 2020. She'd rent a boat for her and her 4-year-old son to go out on the water. Video surveillance showed them two getting on the boat, and at 1 p.m. they left the dock, with a scheduled return of 4 p.m. But by 5 p.m., when they hadn't returned, an employee went out looking for them, and that's when their boat was found floating in the Narrows, an area at the north end of the lake. On the boat was Josie's son, fast asleep with his life jacket on. They found Naya's purse and identification nearby, but no sign of Naya anywhere. When Josie awoke, he said that the pair had gone swimming, but when it seemed like rip currents had picked up in the waters, Naya told him to get back on the boat. The boat itself had already begun to drift and rock violently due to the wind, which reached reported speeds of around 21 miles per hour that afternoon. Now, conflicting reports stated that Naya helped her son climb back into the boat, but was unable to climb back on board herself, but her family claims that Josie climbed back on board without help, and that the boat, which wasn't anchored, had drifted too far from Naya, and that she was screaming for help. Josie tried to find a rope on the boat, but there wasn't one, and when he looked back out onto the water, he didn't see his mother anymore. And at 4 years old, the same way that Naya was unable to move when Red Fox fell, would be the same way that Josie could not grasp the magnitude of what he was witnessing, nor could he do anything to help. So all he could do was sit on the boat and cry himself to sleep. Now, Naya had not been wearing a life jacket, as it was found on the boat. She was said to be a great swimmer, but she also had vertigo, which can worsen when swimming, though she managed her vertigo with the appropriate medication. Immediately, search and rescue teams and more than 100 divers were called out to the lake searching for Naya, in the water and on land. But this would be no easy task due to the rough conditions and low visibility. Now, Lake Piru is fed by larger lakes further north, causing its water levels to rise and fall frequently. Trees grow in the lake bed during dry periods before being submerged by rising water levels during wet seasons. This can damage pontoon boats coming through, destroy boat engines, and also have swimmers being snagged in the branches below. From at least 1993, Lake Piru was the only lake in the county to allow swimming, though it had over 25 drowning deaths in the years since.
And that's when you cancel the lake for swimming. Brother, if I'm getting caught in underbranch, what's this called when you get, it's not an undertow. Whenever you get caught on some that's under the water, brother, I'm getting caught in that, and people are losing their lives. Nigga, we shouldn't be swimming in Lake Piru. Also, why am I swimming in Lake Piru?
So the divers had to be careful in their approach when searching for Naya. Now, Naya had been on 2 separate FaceTime calls when her and her son were out on the water, one with her mom and one with her dad, During her call with her mom, her mother noticed that the water was very choppy, and she told her to call her back once they were headed back. On the call to her dad, she was still on a boat and told him that she was looking for a spot to dock. Shortly after this, she lost signal, and it would be the last call that she would ever make. Authorities were able to look at the topography of the land from the screenshots that her mother took during her FaceTime call to gauge which location that Naya was last seen in. Over the next 5 days, friends, family, members of the Glee cast, sniffer dogs, among others, all aided in the search for Naya. They looked everywhere. And when the visibility got too low, the search teams used sonar devices and other technology to assist in the recovery. And on July 13th, 2020, around 9:30 a.m., Naya's body would be discovered just north of Diablo Cove, and the sheriff's office stated that it was likely that the body had been trapped in the vegetation under the water before resurfacing. At 33 years of age, Naya was officially declared dead on July 13th, which is reflected on her death certificate, and is the same death date of her Glee co-star just 7 years earlier. Although Naya's certificate states that she died within minutes of going underwater, her autopsy listed the official cause of death as drowning, and in her system were small amounts of prescription medications for ADHD and anxiety, as well as caffeine and low amounts of alcohol. The autopsy concluded that none of these factors led to intoxication or contributed to her death in any way. News of her disappearance had already spread like wildfire before her body was found, and in the year of COVID, Naya Rivera's death became the 8th searched topic on Google for 2020. Hundreds of tributes will be made at Lake Piru, as well as pour in online, many from her Glee castmates and best friends, as well as statements from former boyfriends, like Taj Mowry, who professed that he had never stopped loving Naya, and that she was his first everything. Also, Big Sean expressed...
Niggas be spitting on penis. Oh, God. Taj talking about he ain't want shorty because she was broke. Then she get up. Then rest in peace. Now this nigga Taj talking about I always loved you. Shut your shit. I hate niggas. I swear to God, bro. Niggas be, well, it's like, you know, niggas be, oh yeah, bro, niggas win the championship. Then y'all forget about all the bad that happened on the way to the championship. Niggas that have winning bias, niggas that have death bias. Someone die, and you niggas that act like, oh yeah, bro, we born clone. Nigga, y'all, you not fucking with me when I'm alive, gang. Stop that shit. That shit is treacherous. You niggas is snaky. What the fuck? That shit crazy, bro. And nigga Big Sean talking about some, you are a hero. You dropping diss songs, nigga.
Expressed extreme regret for past actions, and said that had he known that Naya would pass the way she did, he would have never made his 2014 diss track.
Yeah, that's cute, nigga. Is you gonna stop performing a song? Fuck no. So, nigga, you're sucking penis.
But hindsight is always 2020. Naya would be buried at the Forest Lawn Memorial Park in Hollywood Hills, which is a cemetery known for its many celebrity burials. But like so many of the co-stars before her, the show must go on. So they revamped the storyline for the Step Up series that she was in. But they wouldn't write her character off, instead replacing her with Christina Milian for the show's final season. Ryan would be granted full custody of Josie, and Naya's home at 3333 Lowry Road would be sold just 6 months after her death. But Josie wanted his aunt, Nikayla, who is Naya's younger sister, to move in with them forever, and so she did, to help raise and take care of her nephew, which was a decision that was cherished by the family, but subjected them to much scrutiny in the public eye, and paparazzi stayed following Ryan and Nikayla wherever they went. In November of that year,
y'all niggas weird. Y'all niggas is weird. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all stalking them and bruh. I don't think, well, Ryan probably is somebody in the media, but nigga, let them live their life.
Ryan would file wrongful death lawsuits on behalf of Josie and Naya's estate. According to the lawsuit, the pontoon boat that Naya rented for her and her son lacked proper safety equipment. Apparently, Lake Piru made upgrades to several of their boats, but not all of them. And the boat that Naya was given was not equipped with a safety accessible ladder, adequate rope, an anchor, or a radio, or any security mechanisms to prevent swimmers from being separated from their boats. Eventually, they reached a settlement, and her estate's attorney said that Josie will receive just compensation for having to endure the drowning of his beloved mother at Lake Piru, and that though the tragic loss of Josie's mother can never truly be overcome, we are very pleased that the monetary settlement will significantly assist Josie with his life beyond this tragedy.
And hopefully, all of the boats at Lake Piru, if you can still swim at Lake Piru, because I think it should be, y'all should stop this. But if y'all want to let people still swim in Lake Piru, nigga, the boat's got to be right. Come on, man.
But one person who was supposed to have came through for Naya's son was the creator of Glee, Ryan Murphy. You see, back when Naya died, Ryan and Glee's co-creators, Brad and Ian, had all announced to the world that they were currently in the process of creating a college fund for the beautiful son Naya loved most of all. But by March that following year, Naya's father went on a Twitter rant, putting the powers that be on blast, saying, everybody needs to know what Ryan Murphy really did or didn't do. I'm about to blow up this story and make sure he knows that I know. When you are part of the Hollywood elite, some people treat others as they are less than. They vocalize a good game, but it's as shallow as the sets on stage that they create. Promises made in public only to fade with time and excuses. He also tweeted, broken promises, fake outrage, hollow gestures, and no
Very funny as hell. He didn't want to redo saying broken promises. He said, "Man, let me try this." That boy a fool, man. Also, it's Hollywood. A lot of these motherfuckers is fake. So I don't know what you was expecting, Mr. Rivera. But yeah, the fact that that man said he was gonna do something and he didn't stand on that, yeah, he's not a man.
phone calls. Ryan would, however, respond back in a tweet simply saying, myself, Brad, and Ian have committed to creating a college fund for Naya Rivera's child Joseph through the Naya Rivera Estate Trust. We have been in repeated conversations with the appropriate executors of her estate. But as of 2024, there have been no updates that I could find on this matter. Y'all let me know in the comments below if y'all know any updates on that. Now, Naya's last workings were her contributions to Batman: The Long Halloween, Parts 1 and 2, which would be released in 2021, with Naya voicing Catwoman. And these would be the last credits to her name. In December of 2023, as a final farewell, several members of the Glee cast would come together and officially release Naya's song, Prayer for the Broken, which is a heartwarming tribute song taken from her 2012 sessions up at Columbia Records. Man, rest in peace to the lovely, talented, driven inspiration that was Naya Rivera. You've left your mark with an amazing body of work that your son and your family, as well as the fans, will continue to cherish forevermore. This is Justified by Jury. Y'all know how to hit that like, and y'all know how to hit that subscribe. If you want to, do so. And I'm gonna catch y'all in the next video.
Whew, that video was a lot. Apparently a lot of people from Glee ended up losing their lives. Like, damn, Glee was that treacherous of a production? That's kind of crazy. Also, damn, Naya really lived a full life. Like, not to say it like that, but like, she lived a lot of people don't get to do half of this Naya did. I wish Naya would have got to drop her album, actually, you know, try to pursue her dreams in music. But I mean, through Glee, you went on tour. That's dope as hell. Rest in peace to Naya. Lake Pyru. Y'all niggas, what the fuck? My bro. How hard is it to manage a fucking lake and make sure the boats have proper mechanisms to ensure people are losing their lives at a lower rate? Right? How hard is that? Damn! Rest in peace, Naya. That's the end of the video. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, share your thoughts on the video in the comment section below. Hit the notification bell so you can stay up to date when I drop videos on this channel. Big Shine Ass was capping. So was Taj Mowry. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Nigga, Taj talking about some, yeah, bro, that was my first love. I always love. Shut the front door.
Baby, slide by to my mausoleum. She got